What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and clearly we're still in the shop working on the JKU. We have more parts. So these are the front and the rear track bars. These were delivered on Friday, like an hour after we had left for the Salt Lake City Off-Road Expo. So now it's time to put these in and see where we're holding. One's front, one's rear. Yep. And then we have our custom sway bar links. So this is gonna be in addition to our anti-rock that we have in the rear or front?
Front.
So we have the one in the front, and these are custom RPM steering aluminum links. So this connects to the anti-rock. They're beautiful. So we have Marlon polishing this up further for the frame chop bumper right there. This is the Artec Bantam with the stinger. It does come without the stinger, which is what I previously ordered. And then guys, I fell in love with the stinger. I guess our whole family of Jeeps has stingers, so we'll stick to what we know. That being said, this has been polished. It's been marked up to where it's supposed to sit. Holes have been labeled as such. And then he went ahead with the drill bit, and there you go. One side, and let's see his progress on the other side. Oh, nice. Good. Lunchtime. Let's go eat.
Let's go. You just do anything, right?
So this is our stock OE fuel tank skid plate, right? So this basically gets sandwiched between the fuel tank, and then underneath is going to be the full belly Artec skids. But this is seen a lot, guys, considering what Marlon has put it through. There's a bunch of rust starting and or already settled in, so Marlon's going to go ahead and grind the first layer of paint off and then give this thing a sick fresh coat using the Seymour Big Rig paint. All right, this is the first coat of primer.
And we're using this primer.
The Big Rig Light Gray High Solids Primer by Seymour. Guys, it looks like freaking powder coating.
Yeah, it is super thick.
Fit check. Marlon, red bottoms are still alive?
Yeah, they're not red anymore.
No, they're
like
brown bottoms. Okay, guys, so there has been a bunch of progress on the JKU. All right, so starting from the bumper. So this is a Nighthawk Artec bumper. It's absolutely beautiful. And guys, that comes bare steel. And so Marlon went ahead and made sure that it was completely cleaned. He primed it with the Seymour primer and then hit it with the Big Rig paint. And it literally looks like powder coating. Then let's go to the bottom here. As you very well can see, the axle is underneath and centered under the Jeep, right? So we removed wheels and tires just to be able to get that proper centering. The coilovers that we're using are the ones that were on the JKU for the last couple of years. This is only a mock-up. We're gonna have Bilsteins in here, 10s in the front, 12s in the rear, as well as bypasses as well in the front. Kind of like just basically the same, but different. We want to keep the geometry as far as the shocks the same because we didn't want to outboard the coilovers. So we didn't want to have to do to cut into the Jeep. This is going to be a mild build. We don't want to mess with the Jeep being open because we're going to be sleeping back there occasionally as far as camping goes. So we'll see. Of course, guys, if this doesn't work, if we don't like it, if we want more flex or anything like that, of course we can always go back and do that. Now that Marlon's a little more experienced, I think he feels way more confident welding. Holly's been a tremendous help in helping him, not only Holly but Jason as well. Huge shout out to our friend Jason, who's gonna be here shortly. He's late for work. That's a joke, guys. He's been amazing. Cooper Off-Road, I'll include his Insta in the description as always, of course. So we have the Ultimate Dana 60. And so this track bar is tack welded. So you see it's not welded at all. That's called tack welding, or so I'm told. And basically they're still trying to figure out if that's gonna be its final home. They have to flex out the axle on the lift and make sure that when this is all the way up there, none of this touches, so the track bar doesn't touch the diff or doesn't collide with the coilovers. So that's kind of the point that we're holding at right now. There is still a short rear truss that has to be installed, but that's neither really here or there. We're waiting to figure this out so then they can weld the short truss and then paint the axle, take everything off, spray paint the axle, and then we'll be good to go. Guys, also keep in mind that these build videos, they're not how-tos at all. Marlon has received tons of help from tons of different people, and obviously the brunt of the physical labor he's done, but this is our first time building it. We are using a kit, so that's the RPM kit that I linked in the video before, but that'll obviously be down here if you guys are interested. So it's the 3-link front, double parallel rear. So you still retain your factory gas tank. You don't have to lose that or use a fuel cell in the back or even behind the axle. Another paint update is, you guys remember the chassis or the frame I polished down to the bare metal, but that has been hit with several layers of the gloss. So again, Seymour Paints hooked us up for this entire build. So when you guys know that I'm referencing to paint, I'm talking about Seymour. And so that was the high gloss solids. I'll look for the can now, and that is more of the matte. So definitely different finish. I think the axle will also do like this, shiny. But yeah, look at it. Beef, a real 1 ton, because before he had a semi-float Terraflex 60. So now we got real beef. Alrighty, so this is where this bracket comes in the kit. So obviously this had to be welded on. This is now fully welded on. It was tack welded until they could figure out if that was gonna be the right home. And so we have the double parallel 4-link. So you see 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's what makes it a 4-link. And double parallel instead of double triangulated, which we have on the 2-door and the JL, and that would be more of like an X. You would see these cross over each other. So this is what we're using for the frame and the axle. So we kind of have a situation here, and by situation, I mean we don't really know what to do about everyone calls this a different thing. I call it like a skin, a rock skin. I don't really know. You guys let me know what you call it, or what different companies call it different things. But basically, it had Motobuilt sliders that we've had there for a long time. And so the slider portion of it, it's more almost like a step. It clearly bolts on here, right? So we want to run sliders, but not necessarily that style of rock slider. But this is so seized that in order to get this out, I think that we would cause really bad damage to the body. You can kind of tell that that's what happened here, removing the fenders, but at least with the fenders, you have more metal and you could like fill this in slowly. And then most of the fender will cover that if you'll be able to see it at all. So we're kind of figuring out what to do with this situation here. Let me know if you have any ideas. Another idea was to cut it, right? To cut it and grind it down, give it a fresh coat of paint. But honestly, this is like spinning. So this is stripped and those bolts just have to go. I just don't know how to do it, without harming the integrity of the body anymore. And then if we go to a different brand, not that there's anything wrong with Motobuilt, we've been super happy with them, but even if we do another Motobuilt skin, I'm concerned that the holes won't line up because again, guys, this one is several years old. I don't know if they've made improvements, not that it's needed, or just kind of changed things around, but that's kind of my major concern here. That being said, these are going to be replaced. I think more or less these should be easy. We're going to be rocking different corner armor. We don't need this, and it's just time for a refresh. Also, if you guys recommend any company to replace these, let me know because I'm having a hard time finding like nice looking aftermarket, more so like billet aluminum kind of thing. We're tired of these plastic covers. It just kind of like changes the look of the build. So fenders are off, fender flares are clearly off, the grille has been off, the hood is off, because all of that is being replaced by Rock Monster USA. So we're gonna have a completely different hood. And so Chris from Rock Monster USA is sending us a hood, a grille, and the fender panel. The fender flares, front and rear, are on its way from a different company, so can't wait to show you guys those. This rig already had PSC. It's had PSC for a while, several years. It has an aftermarket radiator. Our friends at Mishimoto are super great. And so we run Mishimoto radiators in all the vehicles, and we had a lot of success with it. So can't wait for the new grill. It's gonna be well, I won't spoil the fun. I'll let you guys see it once it gets here. But yeah, so basically front axle, we had some improvements as well. So before I go to the front axle, let's talk about the front bumper. Look at this, guys. This is the Artec Bantam bumper with the stinger. It comes with or without. I had previously ordered the one without the stinger, but then I saw the one with the stinger at the Salt Lake City Off-Road Expo, and I just fell in love. I guess we're just gonna be a stinger Jeep family. And so I really, really think this is ingenious, having this like plate here. You can, buy additional ones, change them out. Not only can you, it's aluminum, obviously, but you can paint it your accent color or change it out once it gets, pretty banged up from the rocks. Check that out. So this is not the tie rod end we're gonna be using. We're actually waiting for our steering to get here today. This is the old one from my two-door back when I was on tie rod ends before I switched to the heavy duty Heim setup from RPM. But obviously in Ultimate Dana 60 in the front, we are wanting to change out 2 RCVs instead of running U-joints. So that's gonna come a little later, just time constraints. I don't think it's gonna be possible before EJS because we really are trying to debut this then. So again, this track bar mount is also tack welded, so we don't know if this is where it's gonna live. This is also tack welded. So again, guys, we'll know and fully weld all the brackets in once this is fully cycled and we know that it's not touching anything and that's where it's gonna live. So for all of you that are gonna be like, oh, that's gonna rip off, of course it's gonna rip off. This is not how it's going to be. And if it is, then it's gonna be fully welded around.
I want you guys to let us know what trail in Moab should we take this in as the shakedown trail.
Shakedown run. All right, perfect. So yeah, you guys let us know which trail we should do in Moab to shake down the JKU, the new well, it's not new, but the new, the renewed, perfect. The renewed JKU, which trail we should take it on.
I'll go for Pritchett Canyon.
No.
Yes.
We're definitely not doing Pritchett Canyon. So this is kind of like, and you guys let me know if you have this issue with your partner or your significant other or what have you. But basically, Marlon, well, you guys know Marlon. He has a very distinct driving style. And I say that because now the ongoing joke is going to be that I rolled first and he hasn't.
I mean, that's technically true.
It is technically true, but he's definitely flopped way more than I have. But listen, anyways, that's not the thing. What I wanted to say is we have 2 dedicated rock crawlers, guys. This rig is not another one of those. Could it do it? Probably, but it's not what we built it for, right? The suspension in the rear, the double parallel, or the parallel 4-link is not for what we can it do it, absolutely, but we have dedicated rigs that could do it better. So this is gonna be very much our weekend warrior. I'm gonna daily drive this all around town so we don't have to drive the F350. We wanna go camping, snow wheeling, something that we don't have to trailer the Jeep. Also, winter 4x4 jamboree or trail hero that's local here in town. We wanna take this. We wanna do level 5s, level 6s, level 7s, level 8s. Can it do a
wheel for level 5, 6, and 7?
Yeah, but sometimes you just want to have like an easier, mellow day, or we want to be able to wheel with people that is the level that they're at or the level that they want to do and might not necessarily want to have to drive the Jeeps on stickies to the park and the fuel cells, they gas guzzle with the V8. So this is gonna be, we're still gonna be able to have so much fun with this rig, enclosed, with heat and AC, heated seats and cooled seats, guys. So we're super excited about those. Those are gonna be brand new in the Jeep. I designed them myself and I can't wait to show you guys. And of course we have the best supervisor, Mildred. Mildred, how are we doing?
Just hanging around.
She says we need to speed it up. We got 10 days left to basically finish this, or at the very least, wheel this out because Holly needs her shop space back to start on her projects. In 10 days, it'll officially be 1 month that we rolled this in. We rolled it in February 17th, and it is currently, I don't know, my watch is freaking out. I think it's March 6th. We got Chef Brian in the house again. Beatrice JKU prepping up. What are you making?
Bulgogi fried rice.
Yum. We got a recovering overlander here in all of his glory. That looks delicious. What's up, guys? So I'm on my way back to the shop, and guys, we are getting close. Right now, as I'm currently filming this, it's Monday, I believe, and so we have till Sunday to use the shop, and I think, fingers crossed, that we're gonna have the majority of the suspension work done. And I can't wait to get this thing back home and then finish all the cosmetic things. So let me show you guys what we got going on so far. All right, gas tank is going in. It's actually a lot harder of a struggle, guys, because Marlon's down there. He has kind of, you know, and the gas tank is a little bit full. It's not obviously even half full, but it's still a significant amount of weight. I have to stand here and push the button, but he has to stand here. It's almost like a 3-person job, so that someone could grab the front of it and the rear, and then another person to do here. So yeah, wish us luck.
Okay, leave it there. Up a little bit. Okay, that shouldn't go anywhere. Okay.
Okay, guys, look at how beautiful the front axle came out. So this is with the Seymour paint. I know we've talked about them a million times, guys, but if you're looking to give your rig a polish up, they have flat black, they have gloss, they have every color you could possibly imagine, and check that out. It looks like powder coating. So basically, what are we looking at? We're looking at the truss is fully welded on. Marlon basically welded for I don't know how many hours, but made sure his welds were spot on. We have track bar, drag link, the PSC, so the hydro assist mounts. Marlon jerry rigs this to work, and everything clears, guys. So before we painted it, it was flex tested, so flexed at maximum stuff and full droop, and nothing touched. So basically, once that was green lighted, we went ahead and fully welded the mounts and then painted it, and it dried overnight. So here we are. Today we're putting in the gas tank, we're putting that back in, and you guys just saw it's really difficult actually for 2 people. I think this is like a 3-person kind of job. But yeah, I'm excited. It looks so good and it's coming together so awesome. Guys, it's happening. I think we're gonna be able to meet the deadline, at least, like, not the cosmetic side because we're still waiting on a whole bunch of stuff, but at the very least, the suspension is gonna be dialed in. We're still waiting on coilovers from Bilstein and bypasses. So even though you guys see the Kings, those are just placeholders. You guys know that we obviously work with Bilstein. We have Bilstein on all the rigs, so that is what's gonna be here. I think something else that we missed that I didn't talk about is that this tower, right? So this tower is from the original Evo kit that Marlon used to run, put it back in 2018, right? So what happened was I went ahead and I purchased lowers from Evo that had to be modified. That's these guys right here, right? And so it's important, and the reason that we bought them from Evo, it's because the double throw down, which is the coilover and the bypass, are specifically their spec. So we don't really have the fabrication skills or the time in order to make our own brackets, so these are tried and true. So we purchased those. I think it was like, for both sides, about like $80 or something like that. Pretty fast shipping because they're out of California. But anyways, so right here, what had happened was, I wish the axle was under to be able to show you, but basically the tower was too narrow, and because the front used to be a 44, the tube itself, right, was smaller. The Dana 60 tube is a lot larger. So what happened was this tower, basically this didn't exist right here. It ended right here. And so it put the coilover and bypass kind of looking like a triangle sort of thing, which obviously is a no-go. So Marlon and Jason did some NASA experiment here where they cut and added this other and made this bracket here, added it in.
An extension.
An extension, moved over the bypass, and now they're perfectly and beautifully parallel. So that's gonna work out. Super excited. Honestly, that was one of our major concerns. And not only that, but there's a lot of stuff to package on an axle. No matter how large the axle is, it's always, when you have bypasses and coilovers, and depending on what sizes those are, it's always a lot. So I'm super surprised that the boys were able to figure it out. So huge shout out to Jason and Marlon for doing some NASA stuff.
Just to let you know, Luna said that I was not going to be able to put bypasses and coilovers in an Ultimate Dana 60. Why?
Okay, so Marlon's basically explaining that, yes, I did think that it wasn't possible. First, because I've never seen anyone do it. Again, don't come for me, guys. If someone out there has an Ultimate Dana 60 with a double throwdown kit, which is the coilovers and the bypasses in the same tower, not only that, but with a full-blown low-profile Artec truss that goes basically from end to end, and this being a 69-inch with axle, I was skeptical, very skeptical, in that he could get it done, that they could figure it out, right? Because there is no, like, you have to understand, all these kits, it's very much a kit if you have like a stockish Jeep and then you're going to use all this. Once things have been modified, the kits aren't really kits anymore, right? Because you're not taking a stock vehicle, reading the instructions for the kit, and then making it what it's supposed to be. So in our case, you know, a 3-link or Ultimate, you know, tons with a truss and all that. It's supposed to be just a singular coilover. The instructions are not for a coilover and a bypass. So things don't fit, the brackets provided, you know, you have to get creative because they're not meant for that application. So yeah, guys, I was super skeptical, but honestly, Marlon's Cuban and he makes it work.
Yeah, and I said, don't worry, just give me the stuff, I'm going to make it work. Don't worry, I'm going to make it work. And I did.
He did.
Are you proud of me?
Very.
Okay.
So a couple more things that we're gonna get done while the Jeep is kind of in pieces is a J8 master cylinder brake booster. So that's gonna be installed, and that again is in the engine bay. We have, so for my Jeep, my, power steering pump was it was working, but it definitely needed a refresh just because it's been a couple years, and obviously with 42s, stickies, and spacers that we use, it is a lot of binding for the front, so that power steering pump does get overused, I would say. So we did take mine out in the two-door and send it to PSC as well as the JL, and so in the meantime, I couldn't, you know, I obviously still wanted to wheel, so we took the power steering pump out of the JK to put into my two-door. So the one that we got back from PSC is now going into the JKU. So we have to, he has to go ahead and install that.
It's already installed.
Oh, it's already installed.
Look how beautiful it looks.
Never mind, hold on. Ta-da! Very nice. Since we're waiting on our replacements, so these are just placeholders, guys. We're gonna do obviously the Bilstein coilovers and bypasses. These were, we let the nitrogen out, and now we have to put them back in just so that we can get this rolling out of here on Sunday. So the easiest way to put them in is at an angle, from at least what we've found. There we go. And watch your fingers. There. All right, guys. This is it. So exactly 4 weeks from when we pulled the JKU into Holly's shop, 4 weeks to the day. The suspension, can we say at least the suspension's 100% done? Yeah. Okay, suspension is 100% done. This is not the tires that are gonna go on the Jeep, and these are not the coilovers that are gonna go on the Jeep. You guys already know this. So Kevin and Brittany came to the rescue because our one-car trailer has our Comanche on it, still from a year ago when we moved here. So it's been a year now that we've been here in Hurricane, Utah. So that's our next project, the Comanche, the XJ, but we got to get this guy home. So we're waiting still on a bunch of parts, more cosmetic, but obviously fenders, fender flares, rock sliders, armor, seats, hood, grill,